Or me.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is not the Mayday morning show. That one is at 8 a.m. Eastern every morning, Monday through Friday. But we have to come up with a new graphic for this new conversation. So this is what we're going to get for now until Michelle works her magic, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
How's everybody in the chat? I see everybody here is coming in from all over the world again, which is so fantastic. We love you guys, and thank you for joining us every morning, except Sunday mornings, to be with us, including to my peeps from New Jersey, Michael Lavery. Hello. I am not in New Jersey, but Jersey is always in me. How about that? What's going on, Michelle? You seem a little hungover, tired.
No, I'm not. I'm not hungover. I'm tired because, well, first of all, it was a very long and I'm not gonna lie, very stressful week. You know, we have a niece, my husband and I. We say niece. She's actually our I guess second cousin, but she's in college and 18, so she calls us Uncle Joe and Aunt Michelle. So she's going to school in Fordham. And, you know, we like that she's nearby. So we invite her to come by every now and then, or we'll take her out to dinner. And so she came down with her friend yesterday, and I made everybody dinner. I made smash burger soup, which is very good. If you follow the account, she's a great Substack. It's called Dinner Sorted. And she had this recipe and it was so good. So we had that and like a Parmesan Caesar salad. And we had leftover tiramisu for dessert with hot cocoa. So, and then I made myself a little blue cheese martini. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is it called? What's this recipe called?
Smash burger soup.
No, sorry. The Substack. It's what? It's Dinner Sorted?
Dinner Sorted. Dinner Sorted.
I need new
she's one. So I only pay for like a handful of Substacks, and she's one of the ones that I pay for because, first of all, I found her on Instagram first, and she has these really just, I don't know, like interesting, but like also kind of simple recipes. And she always feeds her dog a piece of cheese by the end of the video. And she has MS. She was diagnosed with MS a few years ago. So like she cooks, and she's a chef. So she cooks kind of like at home now because it's harder for her to do stuff. So anyways, she's just lovely. And I think she's great. So check it out. She has really great recipes. So,
awesome. I will, because I need new recipes because I've been so busy. I haven't been cooking for my family. I've been ordering out, and it's like enough already. Like they're not.
Yeah. That's kind of where I was like, we were thinking about going out last night, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
First of all, it's cold out. Second of all, my husband left his dirty clothes in here too. That's fun that you get to see his little Christmas socks sitting over here. But also, I was like, you know what? Like, I haven't been cooking. I'm sure the girls going to college, they haven't had a home cooked meal in a while. I was like, let's just stay in. And, you know, there is something really nice about it, even though groceries cost $1 million right now.
Not according to the Washington Post. According to the Washington Post, you may not appreciate that you should be paying more for groceries.
Oh, of course. Yes. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. I didn't know, and now I do. Thank you so much. But I will say, like, I ordered groceries, you know, for the week plus what we needed for the dinner last night. And like, it's not fancy stuff, you know what I mean? Just like some ground beef and whatever else. And it was like really expensive. I was like, excuse me?
It's like $10 a pound for beef right now. It's crazy.
Yes. For like regular beef, like not even like fancy beef.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
From the Berg, Pittsburgh. You know, I've never been to Pittsburgh. I've always been to Pittsburgh. I know.
What?
I know. And it's crazy because my son is a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. He's also never been to Pittsburgh.
Really? Pittsburgh? I always was kind of like, Pittsburgh. I don't know why I thought that, but I went to go photograph a wedding there. And it was one of, I find that if you have a big wedding that you're photographing, it's like a very good way of like seeing a new city because
Yeah,
you
of
know, you
course.
do the landmarks and stuff. And I was so impressed with just the history and the just like how beautiful it was, and the food scene was incredible. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Ooh, today's soup day in New England. I'm gonna make a corn chowder. You know what?
Ooh,
Maybe I'll make a chowder.
a chowder.
Oh, I'm like
Mhm.
I'm out here in Pennsylvania. It snowed. I'm looking out my
Oh,
window.
pretty.
But it snowed, then it melted, so it's kind of gross now. But it's cold. It's obviously freezing. It's
Very cold.
very cold here in the Northeast. I actually, so my best friend from college moved out to, we went to college in Boston. She moved out to California shortly a few years after college. So she's been out in San Francisco since, you know, since the mid 90s.
Yeah.
And she married a guy out there. Love him. Hello, Joel, if you're watching. And he had two daughters from a previous marriage. So two twin daughters, identical twin daughters, actually. So anyway, so she's a stepmom. And these girls, like I've known them since they were 13. They're now young adults. They're out of
Oh
college,
gosh.
their 20s.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're wonderful girls. And they've never been to New York. Ever,
Oh.
ever, ever. And I kept saying, you've got to come to New York. This is crazy. Like, just get on a plane, go to New York. Like, what's wrong with you? Just do it. Anyway, one of them has now come to New York and is spending the weekend in New York, where I am not right now. But talk about picking. I feel so bad because she picked like the coldest day of the
It's
year.
really cold. It's
It's
really
so
cold. And you know,
yeah.
this is gonna sound crazy for people who maybe live in houses or have central air or whatever, don't live in pre-war apartments. So like our building's like 110 years old or something. So, and we're very close to the top of the building where it just gets really hot. And so we don't have any control over our heat. And so like a lot of times during the day, it's very, very, very cold in the apartment. But at nighttime, they blast the heat. But if so we'll turn on our air conditioner. But if it falls below 32 degrees, then I can't turn on our air conditioner because it freezes. And that's like dangerous, right? So I can't do that. So like the colder it gets outside, the hotter it is inside
Oh,
my apartment. And like Joe
can you
and I
open the
haven't been
window?
able. Well, yes, but like it doesn't really do anything. Like it
Yeah.
just, you know what I mean? It doesn't do anything. So you know, on those nights, like we haven't been sleeping well because it's just like so hot. And then you wake up dehydrated and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm sweating. But it's just, you know, that's
Yeah.
that pre-war life, you know.
Like
But
cannibals showing off. Hello from Central Vermont. I don't know where in Central Vermont you are, but the entire state of Vermont is so gorgeous.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Top to bottom, just beautiful. I used to have a house in Western Massachusetts, not far from the Vermont border,
mm,
and that part of Vermont is beautiful. But then if you go like to Eastern Vermont, up, you know, past Montpelier to Burlington and to Lake
mm,
Champlain, like, oh,
mm-hmm. It's
so
the
pretty.
best.
So pretty.
For my 1 year anniversary, Joe and I went to Burlington um for like a few days. Had a wonderful time. I had a friend get married in Manchester,
Oh,
which was wonderful. I hadn't been there, but so I've like Vermont is just lovely and everyone is so nice and everything just felt like so, you know, like I can't imagine having a hot flash there. I'm not there quite yet, but it feels like it, quite frankly.
I survived without hot flashes. I just want to be clear.
Did
That's
you
not true.
really?
I had a few, but they weren't bad. Yeah.
Okay. Some
Yeah.
people get them really bad.
Some people get them really bad. I actually survived. I lived in Bennington, Vermont for almost a year. Bennington, Vermont was so close to my old house. It was maybe like 45 minutes away. I was in Massachusetts, but not far from Bennington.
Mm.
Like beautiful. Bennington College is gorgeous. Go to Bennington. Really, really nice. And yeah, we do. Good morning from New Jersey. The Jers.
Mhm.
So Michelle,
Yeah.
I don't want to get too political today because I feel like we talk politics
I
every
can't
morning.
take it.
Yeah.
I'm honestly at
Oh,
my limit.
Michelle's like Michelle hit her wall last night. Like
I
Michelle
did.
texted me and she's like, I just can't do this anymore. Like it was like a political suicide note. Like I
You
just
know, I
can't
was
do
like,
this
"No,
anymore.
I don't come here often, but I think that I'm done. I can't do this anymore." But
Yeah.
we all hit our wall, and then we we take a day or two, and then we're
Back
like,
up.
okay,
So we're gonna keep this a little apolitical, but Michelle, since we have
yeah.
to get a little politics in here about, I'm gonna read
Oh,
about
and
this.
Heidi, by the way, thank you so much for asking. I will come back to this because I would love to know, because I know your kitty has IBD. And for anybody who doesn't know, like, just not to get all into this, but it's inflammatory bowel disease, and like your pets can get this, and it's like Crohn's disease or colitis or something for a human being. And my cat was diagnosed with this in this last year, and it has been a nightmare trying to handle it and deal with it and take care of him and get medication that works and stuff. So Heidi, we'll come back to this, but I just want to say thank you for asking. He's okay. Um, he's okay. He's moping around, but he's okay. Anyways, Julie, keep going.
Yeah. So there's a lot of crazy shit out there this week.
Mhm,
We don't need
mhm.
to dwell on like all of it because we dwell on it every morning. But could we just talk quickly about this participation trophy that Donald
Oh,
got?
can we?
And I just want to say this,
Mm.
and this has been on my mind a lot. And you guys know I used to work at Fox. And one of the
Mhm.
big through lines of my time at Fox, and I haven't watched since I left, but I don't know if they're still doing this, but certainly when I was there from 2004 through 2000 and when did I leave? Mid 17. So I was there a long time, 13 years on and off.
Mhm.
They constantly talked about snowflakes and how Democrats were
Mhm.
snowflakes and college students were snowflakes and they needed their
Yep.
safe spaces. And they didn't want to, everybody got canceled if you said anything that the woke liberals didn't like.
Mhm.
And all they wanted was participation trophies. And, like they couldn't take like reality. And, we could talk a little bit more about safe spaces and what Republicans are creating for themselves now and how they are the kings of cancel culture if you
Yep.
say something that they don't like.
Right, right.
But also, the participation trophy thing is priceless because Donald
Mhm.
Trump really wants a Nobel Peace Prize. That's all he ever talks about. Why? Well, because Barack Obama got one. And by the way, Barack Obama should not have gotten a Nobel Peace Prize. That was kind of stupid. He got it like 5 minutes after becoming president.
Yeah, it was
Basically,
very early on, right? It's like
yeah,
2009
yeah,
or 10, right?
yeah, because he wasn't George Bush. It was like, here you go, America. You got a Nobel Peace Prize for getting rid of George Bush.
Mhm.
Like that was stupid. But where Trump is never going to get that Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, unless truly he like threatens to nuke Norway and the Norwegian government leans on the Nobel Committee to be like, you got to do this to save like the world. He's never getting a Nobel Peace Prize. And therefore, other people who are sucking up to him are trying to make him feel better by giving him some sort of peace
Mhm.
prize. The very corrupt head of FIFA.
Oh yeah. FIFA, by the way, already is just like a very, very corrupt organization. There is a
Yeah.
documentary that I suggest I will Google it right now. Go watch it. So people, if you're from the United States, you don't know FIFA like people in other parts of the world do, because soccer's not or football isn't as much of a, world sport as it is in other places. I will send that to everybody in just a few minutes. But anyways, continue.
Anyway, FIFA is super corrupt. And of course, you know, they see kinship with Donald Trump because he too is super corrupt. And so out of nowhere, other than I guess the World Cup is taking place partially in the United States, and P.S. if you're not from this country and you're thinking about coming here to watch the World Cup, I don't recommend you do,
Don't do it.
especially if you're from South America or some country
Don't do it.
where, but even like they're now throwing white American citizens,
Mhm.
pulling them out of their cars and cuffing them.
Yep.
Because ICE is doing that. So it's
Active
not,
duty military.
yeah,
Did you see the story about the active duty
yeah,
soldier who was
yeah,
they refused to accept his military ID? Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Did you see the video about the woman who was pulled out of her car by ICE, who was
Yep.
white, who was
Yep.
like,
Was a US citizen, and she was screaming, "I'm a US citizen, don't do this to me."
yeah, and they're like, "Oh, whoops, sorry." They apologized to her eventually, but like,
I would sue the shit out of them.
oh my
Not
god,
that
I was shit out
like,
of them.
I
Yeah, but anyway, the point is, like, it's not good. Do not come here. But anyway, FIFA, because I guess Trump is now hosting the World Cup, decided to give him, well, Michelle, why don't we just show the video of what they gave him?
Oh, yes. Here it is.
Please welcome the very first winner of the FIFA Peace Prize, the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Please. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this is your prize. This is your Peace Prize. There is also a beautiful medal for you that you can wear everywhere you want to go.
Right now.
Okay, let me hold. Fantastic. Excellent.
I mean,
He put it on himself.
it's laughable.
He
The whole
put
thing.
it on himself.
Okay.
When they hand you something like that, and it's like one of those little medals, like in a little box or something, you're just supposed to kind of like hold on to it. And if someone's not putting it on you, it's just, you hold it, you hold the thing, yay, hello, take my, but he couldn't wait to put it on himself. And the president of FIFA says, Mr. Donald Trump, President Trump, you can wear it whatever you want, just kind of jokingly. I just want to throw some, because the internet, of course, did not disappoint. Tibor Kalman at Kalman Tibbs says, at no point during the 5-year span that Monty Python's Flying Circus aired on the BBC from October 1969 to December 1974, could the greatest comedic minds of their time come up with a skit more grotesquely absurd than Trump placing a fake Peace Prize medal over his own head.
Well, you know why? Because if somebody else did it, they could potentially touch the hair and it could move and
Right.
not be in place.
Right.
We can't have that.
Ugh.
And
Oh, God.
first of all, did you see what the actual trophy looks like? Do you have a picture of that by any chance?
Oh, yes. Hold on. Is it on? All right, hold on. Let me go back to this. But here it is. There it is, right there.
All right. So
Peace Prize, the
I don't know if
45th
you could
and
see it, but it's legitimately.
Hold on, let's get
There it
closer.
is. All right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there it
There
is.
It
Those
is
are
literally
hands.
a bunch of zombie hands coming out of the earth, clutching the globe. It is literally, people have nightmares about like the night of
Right,
the
this
living
doesn't
dead.
look very PC.
No, it looks literally like somebody is about to break through the ground
Yeah,
out of their
it's like
grave
horror.
and clutch the world in its hands and suffocate it. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For all the moms out there and the dads out there, tell me if you agree with me on this. When my son was like 3 or 4 and he was in daycare and or preschool, and I worked, later than preschool ended. So I had to put him in like after school activities, right? So I put him in tennis and I put him in karate just so he could stay there and do whatever. Like it wasn't a
Yeah.
real thing. And he was taking karate and like, great. And then we all had to go to a belt ceremony where they all got a trophy.
Mm.
And my son was very proud of this trophy. And inside, I was like seething because I'm like, what did you win this trophy for? Like everybody got one. It wasn't like you won some award or you did something great. You just got a participation trophy. And I just remember texting a friend and being like, oh my God, is this where we're living in the world now where like kids just get participation trophies just for showing up?
Yeah.
And yes, I get that he was like 3 or 4 and it wasn't a big deal other than it established from a very early on phase.
Yep. That you're special and you get an award.
You're special and you get an award just for showing up.
Yeah. I hate to sound like an old cranky person, but like we didn't get those.
We didn't get that. I didn't get that. I had to work my ass off to get anything. Right. And like complete and utter bullshit. And okay, he was a 3 or 4-year-old and not great. This is a 79-year-old man who's the president of the United States, who's getting a participation trophy for showing up because he didn't end. And what war? What peace? The guy's literally killing fishermen off the coast of Venezuela extrajudiciously, threatening to bomb Venezuela.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's I'm going to throw the rest of these up here. Tim Miller, who is just, I find him, he's very funny. He says, wow, I can't believe it, but I have just been informed that I will be receiving the Bulwark Peace Prize. It's an annual award that just started last month. What an honor. We have saved millions of lives. Football Ramble on Twitter says, why does the FIFA Peace Prize trophy look like the world being dragged into hell?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Sports and Politics on Twitter says, as expected, one of the most disgusting and darkest moments in the history of world sport, comparable to the Nazi Olympics, a FIFA Peace Prize for a fascist, multiple convicted criminal, rapist, racist, and fraudster, Trump and Infantilo, a dirty, degenerate bunch.
Yep.
And then, of course, anyway, here is a photo of President Barack Obama with his Peace Prize that was given to him by the Nobel Committee, not a sports organization. And then, of course, Gavin Newsom's press office came to the rescue. All caps. I want to congratulate Donald J. Trump for winning the you didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize because you're a warmonger and a clown, but we still need you. So here's a Happy Meal award, and you can wear your cabinet concubine meeting so your harem can clap like a circus seal medal. And then this was great too. A picture of him and the FIFA president shaking hands in front of Kohl's. It's obviously AI. Wow, an honor. GCN. Newsom awarded inaugural Kohl's Peace Prize. And then I have some tweets or some Truth Socials from him this morning that are on a different topic. But it's just these people, man, they got Trump's number. They got his number.
Yeah.
You know?
And not to get too heavy, because I don't want to do that today, but just because it's relevant. So last night, the administration released the what is it called? Hold on one second. I'm going to pull it up.
While you're thinking that, I'm just going to play this really quick, but before we move off of FIFA, Adam Mockler was who I'm sure we all know here. Love Adam Mockler, YouTube commentator guy, young man, was on Abby Phillip last night talking about this, and I thought he summed it all up very nicely.
The world for him on this, and that he's so committed to these accolades that it's almost like it's the price of entry in Trump's world.
What you just described was Trump trying to turn the United States into a pre-constitutional era where he can act as a monarch that gives and gets gifts from other countries and companies. And FIFA just cashed in on that. They realized that they can placate Trump, placate his personality. And it's not a good look for the United States. It's honestly humiliating that other countries are treating our president like a child, like a baby. This is like if I created the Mockler Peace Prize and I gave it to Adam Mockler right away. I'm like, I'm just going to keep this medal on all night. I really like this. Our president is an actual child, and other countries are treating him like a child while giving him gifts to placate him for policy. This should scare everybody who cares about the Constitution, and FIFA is just one piece of the pie.
I mean, yeah.
They wanted me to go on that show yesterday, by the way. I said no. But
somebody up, Carrie Ann Fisher said, Trump is all about stolen valor, and that is it. That is it.
You're absolutely right. What a great line.
That is
what a great line.
Yeah, perfectly stated. Like, couldn't have put it better myself.
Yes, but this is relevant because yesterday there's a leak, I guess, of Trump's new, and it's called the National Security Strategy. And this is something that an administration puts out once a term at most, talking about what their national security priorities are. And for generations, for both Democratic and Republican administrations, human rights and the spread of democracy have been critical. elements of national security
Mhm.
states and strategies. And I think different ways that it's implemented. Obviously, George Bush's idea of spreading democracy was very different than Barack Obama's idea of spreading democracy. But nevertheless, that was kind of a thing, right? That we support Western democracy and we oppose awful authoritarian regimes that would drag us back to a pre-World War II dynamic where people just went and grabbed land and killed people and, behaved like monsters.
Yeah.
Well, Trump has a new national security strategy, and it's, you guys, not enough attention has been paid to this. I actually have a Substack coming out on this tomorrow, but it's really important to talk about what it is. So basically, he's saying publicly that he's going to squeeze countries that are less powerful than us, which is most countries,
Right.
benefit American companies, translation to benefit his cronies. It doesn't matter anymore what your views are. It doesn't matter if you're an authoritarian. I'm going to quote from this. We see good relations and peaceful commercial relations with the nations of the world without imposing on them democratic or other social change that differs widely from their traditions and histories. Translation, Saudi Arabia, if you want to behead gay people or force women into abject slavery, effectively,
Yeah.
or Vladimir Putin, if you want to go ahead and take all of Ukraine, that's okay, as long as we can cash in. And by we, I don't mean you and I, Michelle, or anybody on this chat. By we, I
Right.
mean people like Jared Kushner, who got $2 billion from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
or
of course.
Steve Witkoff, whose son runs this crypto fund, which not enough attention has been paid to, which is the money laundering vehicle, I believe, for all of these dictators and dictatorships. And, it's just awful. I mean, it depicts Europe as facing, and I quote, civilizational erasure because of migrants and because of its mainstream leaders. So it's not just immigration they're opposed to. They're opposed to Emmanuel Macron in France. They're opposed to
Right.
Keir Starmer in Great Britain. They want to empower people like Jordan Bardella, who is a right-wing crypto, basically a fascist.
Mhm.
France. They want to enable Nigel Farage in Britain, who British people here will know is basically a Russian tool.
Yep.
JD Vance went to Germany in the early part of the year and basically reamed out German officials there for trying to fight against the rise of a neo-Nazi party, the AfD, in Germany. And they're basically saying we'd prefer the AfD. We don't want these mainstream people. And it's, it is more than the extreme right in Europe. It is Carl Bildt, who's a former Swedish prime minister, posted on social media that this strategy, quote, places itself to the right of the extreme right in Europe. So even when they're talking about democracies in tough regions, like they're talking about Israel, they're talking about Taiwan, right?
Right.
Consistently, the United States government, whether Republican or Democrat, has held up Israel as the only democracy in the Middle East, right? Now, they're not looking at Israel that way. They're looking at Israel as a place where Americans can make money. They're looking at Taiwan because of its semiconductor
Right.
brilliance, really, as a place to make money. That's why Taiwan might be protected, not because it's a democracy fighting against a much larger autocracy in China. And, what this basically says is that if Xi Jinping gives more money to the United States than Taiwan can, which of course he can because China is a much larger economy, Taiwan is going to go, that's it. Goodbye, Taiwan. If Saudi Arabia decides that they want to do something to screw Israel, well, all you need to do is give Jared Kushner some money or put some money in the crypto fund and you'll be okay. It doesn't matter. And then in Latin America, which is really crazy, it says the United States will reassert and enforce the Monroe Doctrine to restore American preeminence in the Western Hemisphere. And while they're doing that, American diplomats are supposed to, quote, hunt for major business opportunities in their country, especially major government contracts. The Monroe Doctrine led to 2 centuries of horrific behavior by the United States in the Western Hemisphere. For people who don't know what the Monroe Doctrine is, it is effectively that we are the preeminent power in the Western Hemisphere and we own it. It belongs to us. Not in so many words, but that's really what it meant.
Yeah.
And then there was the Roosevelt corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, Teddy Roosevelt, not FDR, that basically said, you know, if we have to do this by force, we will, but we're going to enforce our rights in the Western Hemisphere. This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
We have become, I mean, Carl Bildt is right. We are not just the extreme right anymore. We are to the right of the extreme right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vladimir Putin, who spent 5 hours with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, and I keep going back to this, and everybody's like, you keep talking about this so much, but this is the scandal of the century. He spent 5 hours at a meeting with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. He kept them waiting for 2 hours while he delivered a speech down the road, which was basically, sorry, Dad, a fuck you to them to say, I'm the one in charge, not you. I mean, how humiliating for the United States. And he's right, because at that meeting, and this is really important to note, the people sitting across from Kushner and Witkoff, who only came accompanied by translators and nobody else, was a guy whose last name is Ushakov, who's one of Putin's, I guess, foreign policy guys. But the other guy sitting there was a guy named Kirill Dmitriev. So early in the morning. Kirill Dmitriev is Putin's bag man. He's his wallet. And the fact that he's sitting there for all the world to see should tell you exactly what the intent here was. They spent 5 hours doing this. 4 hours of it was Putin lecturing them about how the Russian Empire used to control Poland, used to control Finland, used to control Ukraine, and therefore it is the Russians' manifest destiny to be able to control those countries again. And that's the same lecture he gave Tucker Carlson. It's the same lecture apparently he gave in Anchorage. It's all he ever talks about is Russian history, which is sometimes accurate, but most of the time not accurate.
Not right.
I mean, literally going back to like the 9th century of like crazy train, right? Going back like over 1,000 years. But the other hour, I believe, was probably spent on figuring out exactly who gets what and how much money is going to go where. And then I think Putin left, and I think said to them, you guys figure it out, because he didn't want to be there for that. And then his wallet took care of the rest.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Lev Parnas is talking about this, because like me, he obviously knows Russia, but all of this is connected. All of this is connected to now this doctrine. I mean, it is not a coincidence that that meeting took place a few days before this national security document got leaked.
Yeah.
And it's effectively normalizing kleptocracy. And again, the media is not focusing on this because it's all out in the open. Again, if this was done secretly, then they'd be like, ooh, let's investigate. There's some sort of sketchy secret stuff going on they don't want us to know about. But because it's all out in the open, there's nothing to write about. Like if I went to Michelle's house right now and I was like, Michelle, give me $1,000 where I am going to shoot you in the head, and I put it on television, people would be like, okay, oh, that's interesting. Julie's Julie's playing tough with Michelle.
Yeah.
If I did it secretly, it might be like, ooh, what's she up to?
Right.
But it's all out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
All out in the open. And so therefore the press is like, And we are the only ones talking about this. And I know it's a Saturday, and I swore, Michelle, that we would not get heavy today. So I'm sorry that we just got heavy, but like it bears talking about, because people need to know. Yeah. People need to know. And, you just showed a clip from Abby Phillips' show. I'm going to, we'll see if they cancel me. I'm supposed to do that show in a couple weeks. The only reason I agreed to do that show is because if Scott Jennings is there, I want to stick it to him again, because nothing gives me more pleasure than sticking it to him and watching him cry on national television when I do, and complain to Abby Phillip like he's a fucking, speaking of participation trophy toddler. But more broadly, her whole justification of platforming Katie Miller, Scott Jennings, Ben Ferguson, and every MAGA person that she could find, and having it be a comparison between, well, this is what they believe, and we got to platform them because this is what half the country believes, versus the people who say the earth is round and not flat, and giving equal weight to those two opinions is exactly what's wrong with corporate media.
Yeah.
We talked about this with Jeff Jarvis yesterday, but the fact that Andrew Ross Sorkin, the most establishment guy on earth, I cannot think of anybody who personifies the establishment more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is
like a serious person too,
What's that?
And he's a serious person. He's not like some clown,
No, he's not a clown. He's he's taken very seriously by
very
serious
smart.
people.
Yeah.
And the fact that he and the New York Times are platforming Charlie Kirk's wife, because that is what she is. She's in her own right nothing other than being Charlie Kirk's wife, is crazy. Crazy. Yeah. The fact that Barry Weiss, the head of CBS News, is giving a primetime slot to Charlie Kirk's wife is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Because people who don't believe in extremist rhetoric do not get primetime slots. They just don't.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't. And so that's why I'm so all of this is coming together. It's the first year. We're coming to the end of Trump's first year.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia, bless your heart. Scott wanted to run for Senate. That's why he got so upset with me the last time I was on. He's desperately trying to get Trump to tap him on the shoulder and say, you're going to be the next senator. Clearly.
Yeah, thirsting.
And I said that to him on air. I said, no matter how thirsty you are, Donald Trump's not going to make you the senator from Kentucky. And that's when he got upset and turned to Abby and was like, you see, she always does this to me. It was glorious. I went home so happy. And by the way, during commercial break, everybody else at that table kind of smirked at him. But
yeah.
Anyway, that's what got me banned for months. So, the whole thing is just, it's crazy. And the reason Trump would never tap Scott on the shoulder is for twofold. One is he needs Scott to propagate his bullshit on CNN. Yeah. And the other is there's a rich J.D. Vance guy who's being backed by, I think Peter Thiel again or some
of course, some Blake Masters type.
Yeah, running in Kentucky. And of course, Trump would rather have a rich guy than stupid Scott Jennings.
Yeah.
Who brings nothing to the table other than a propaganda mouthpiece. So why not keep it with CNN and have him, continue to play his clown games?
Yep.
So who's pregnant? People are talking about being pregnant.
I don't know what I think they mean. Erica, I think. I don't know. I think that's a rumor.
Well, I'm not pregnant, Michelle.
Nor am I.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But listen, yeah, it's just I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm more invested in Kentucky than you are, Scott. I don't think Scott is ever in Kentucky.
Oh, right. I'm like, he's here all the time.
He's here all the time. Or he's in DC or he's flying. He's got kids and a wife, but I don't know how much.
I don't know how much time he spends with them, unless they're here too. But
well, I met his kids a couple of times in the green room. I offered to give his kids who are into what the hell are they into? What are those cards that all the kids trade? Pokemon. So my son was really into Pokemon, and that phase ended, and his kids are really into Pokemon. So I was like, I'm happy to give my Pokemon cards to you guys. And you'd think Scott would be a little grateful, but no. That's what you do when you're a normal person. You treat their kids nicely and treat other people nicely. Yeah. He's just an asshole. So I am sure of two things. One is either if he's on, I will get canceled because he won't want to go on with me, or two is even if he's not going to be on, which is why they invited me back. And
Listen, I think
and the
that you
producer's like, the best part is the producer's like, we really missed having you on. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, okay,
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
This is where I think that, like, because I'm a little more psycho than most people with half a brain, I would be like very open and public about it. I'd be like, so I'm going on Abby Phillips' show. Let's see if they cancel me. If Scott, like, that's how I would be, and like, because then if they did, you could really start a ruckus. That's what I'm saying.
I've been saying it all along. I'll say
Yeah,
it.
drama. I'm
saying it
saying
here.
like write it on Twitter, put it in your
Oh, yeah.
Substack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like,
Great-
I mean,
great idea.
I'd be stirring the pot, bringing the drama. That's what I'd be doing.
I don't want to bring the drama. I just want to stick it to that guy. I mean,
Well, that's
otherwise,
what I mean. It's like, but I like drama in the way that like just noise, making noise about it, and like it's. I mean, it's holding them accountable, and calling them out for this.
yeah. I mean, look,
Exactly.
it's just
That's right. That's right, BJG. That's right.
we don't want to bring the drama. I just want peace
Yeah.
and quiet. I just want to go on there, stick a shiv into Scott Jennings as I do every time, and then leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
this is why last night, guys, I was having the blue cheese martini because of all of this. Somebody asked me, actually, not to 180 here from important things about foreign policy and Scott Jennings, but somebody asked me about the blue cheese martini, and I just want to tell people about this. Okay, this is not for people who dislike salty things or blue cheese things. If you don't like blue cheese and you don't like olives and stuff, this is not for you. But if those things, you love them, this is for you. Get a mason jar or like something like that, right? You put a bunch of like blue cheese crumbles or like a block of blue cheese, okay? And you fill it up with vodka. Use good vodka. Don't use this crap, okay? You'll be sorry if you use the bad vodka. So you fill it up, put the lid on, put it in your fridge, leave it there. I would say minimum 24 hours, but mine's been in there for like 2 months. So it's like really blue cheesy, okay? So then you do 2 shots of that, okay? And then you can do 1 shot then of olive brine and 1 of pickle juice, okay? But last night I did a shot and a half of pepperoncini brine. So the little pepperoncini. So, and then I put pepperoncini in the bottom of the martini glass. Shake it, okay? Now it's cloudy, it's blue cheesy, it's vinegary, it's spicy. Fill it up. So
wait,
good.
no vermouth, just that.
No vermouth. Ugh.
Really?
Yeah. See, some people are like, I gagged, and then someone else was like, this sounds good. This is what I'm saying. If you don't like if blue cheese is not your thing, and you don't like blue cheese, olives and stuff like that, this is not for you. But if you like those things, and you were to see something like that on a menu, and you go, ooh, this is for you.
Real? I don't know how I feel about this. I think I'd have to try it.
Do you like blue cheese things?
I love blue cheese. I
Do you like blue cheese olives?
I don't necessarily love blue cheese olives, but I think
Okay.
it's because it's not that I mind the taste together.
Mm-hmm.
It's that I'm not a huge olive like I like olive juice, like I like olive martinis. I don't necessarily I don't ever eat the olive.
Okay, but
I
you like the brine. Okay.
I like the brine. I don't like I just
this
don't
might
like
be for you then. Do you like pepperoncinis?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't mind them.
Okay. Because I actually enjoy the pepperoncini and the pickle. So you can make a pickle martini like this too. Again, some people in here are like, this is diabolical, Michelle. This sounds disgusting. I feel you. Like, if you don't like these things, this is not for you. But for some people, we love the blue cheese and we like the sweet cheeses. I'll make one for you. I will bring my blue cheese vodka over to your house.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Good. Speaking of, by the way, I'm looking at this thing. Somebody said rum and eggnog. I hate eggnog. My husband loves eggnog, so this is the season. You know what so here's the thing. My husband loves pumpkin pie. Did I tell you about his pumpkin pie?
Yeah.
With his grandmother?
Yeah. You told me about this.
Okay. So
not on the show, but before.
yeah. So basically, when my husband and I first got together, he expressed that he likes pumpkin pie, that it's a thing. But my husband's very like, he's like a donkey. So everything is like in its time, right? Like everything's in its place. So you can only have
Yeah.
pumpkin pie around Thanksgiving. Like you don't just make a pumpkin pie in January because that's not
Right.
done.
Right.
So
I mean, you could, but yeah.
I mean,
Right.
no, I mean you could and you should if you like it, but
Right.
not.
Right.
He's like, I eat dinner. Do people here eat dinner for breakfast?
All
Like
the
if I go out to dinner and get a burger and I
Mhm.
only have not even a burger. If I get steak and I can't eat the entire steak and I bring it home, I will have that steak for breakfast. And it's delicious and I love it. He
Mhm.
thinks it's the most disgusting. It's just not done. You don't eat dinner for breakfast. You eat cereal for
But
breakfast.
like, who decided that? Who decided like, oh, for this time of day, you can only have this? Like, I think that's silly.
So I'm married to a donkey. So let's just preface by saying that. So you drink eggnog this time of year because we're getting to Christmas. So now it's eggnog
Right.
season. So, but before that, it was Thanksgiving. So it was pumpkin pie season. So the first year
Mhm.
we were together, I was like, great. He loves pumpkin
Mhm.
pie. I get this pumpkin. I peel the pumpkin. I cook the pumpkin. I like labor over this pumpkin. I make this pumpkin pie from scratch. And it's like
Mhm.
insane. And again, I don't like pumpkin pie. So this is all for him. And he
Mhm.
eats it and he's like, oh, well, oh. And I was like, what? He's like, well, this is not how Grandma Doherty made this. And I was like, who the hell is Grandma Doherty? Turns out Grandma Doherty is his grandmother. His last name is not Doherty, by the way. I guess it's his whatever. So I was like, okay. So it turns out Grandma Doherty, after she died and everybody completely orgasmed over her pumpkin pie, it turned out that she had her pumpkin pie recipe that they finally found after her death. And it turned out that it was identical to the back of the Libby's can. Back of the Libby's pumpkin can. So now I just get the Libby's pumpkin, can. I put a little half and half in it. I put a little cinnamon in it, little nutmeg in it, stir it all up, put it in the pre-made pie thing, crust thing from wherever, Keebler or wherever the hell I get it. I don't even know. Put it in the oven for an hour and there you go. And he's like, this is the best. This is just like Grandma used to make it. And I was like, okay. So now we're getting to eggnog season. And again, I used to like make my own eggnog for him. And he's like, this is just not how it's done. Now I get the stupid eggnog from like the store. And he's like, this is fantastic. I think it's disgusting. I am completely not into eggnog. I think
So can I blow your mind, dear? Can I blow
Yes.
your mind? Okay.
Yes.
So eggnog is great. Okay. But there is something better. And it's called a Tom and Jerry.
What's that?
Okay, here we go. In the chat, if you know what a Tom and Jerry is, if they have them, there are not many places in the country that make them. It's like an eggnog, but it's better. And they have been serving them up in this diner in my hometown for over 100 years. And it is the thing you do. It's the thing you do from right before Thanksgiving until right after New Year's. They sell these. And it's like you go, someone said Michelle is our morning mixologist. Correct. So I'm going to show you this article here. Let me take this banner down. Okay. This 100-year-old upstate New York diner is serving a holiday cocktail you've probably never tried before. You make them in these little cups. Okay. And I've got a set in my apartment. So an iconic upstate New York restaurant is celebrating its 100th birthday with an early return of its signature holiday cocktail you may press to find many places. The Tom and Jerry, a frothy, warm cousin of eggnog, is a holiday tradition for many families in northern New York. Can be found at Watertown, New York's Crystal Restaurant, normally serving starting after Thanksgiving. The Crystal has brought it back a few weeks early this year. I had one when I went home. It was great. This place, founded in 1925 by the DeFerris family, the Crystal is the oldest continuously operating restaurant in all of northern New York. The family philosophy is simple. Everyone deserves a good meal at a fair price. It is dirt cheap. So cheap at this place. My grandparents used to eat there.
I love that. I think it's so great.
So today the restaurant serves classic American comfort food. They've got like meatloaf and all that stuff, right? Inside the restaurant is a step back in time. It's home to one of the last stand-up bars in the country, complete with original black and white tile floors, tin ceilings, and a 1930s cash register that once rang up Franklin Roosevelt's tab. This is true. The Tom and Jerry is more of a drink. is more than a drink at the Crystal. It's a carefully preserved tradition for almost as long as the restaurant has been open, dating back to the early 1800s. The cocktail combines a fluffy egg batter and spices with rum and brandy. It's a secret recipe. They don't give out the recipe there. It's whipped in the kitchen. It comes out in this big ass bowl. And they put hot water in the cup, and then they put the alcohol, and then they put the batter on top, and that's what it looks like. It is delicious. And I'll tell you, you can look up a recipe, but I can post my own recipe of this if anyone is interested. So I'll put it somewhere, but it's basically you whip egg yolks and sugar and spices in one thing, and then egg whites and sugar and spices in another thing. And then you kind of like fold them together, and then you put it on the thing. And then that's when it looks like when you put the cinnamon and stuff on top. It is like so good. And yeah, sounds like the egg cream coffee, kind of. Yeah, but this is like a super old, like 100, 200-year-old recipe. Please post recipe. I will put it somewhere. Where should I put it?
Put it in the chat.
No, I know, but like, where can I post it? Should I like start a Substack?
Don't we have a, yes, but don't you also have a Mayday website?
We do. We started
Why don't you put a little tab that says Michelle's recipes?
Okay, maybe we'll do that because just so people know, I made a website for us the other day. It's like a little janky until I can find somebody who really knows what they're doing to make it look good, but I'll post it there or something like that. Or maybe we also have a Substack. We don't do anything over there, but maybe I'll post it there too. But anyways, like that's the Tom and Jerry. It's so good.
Mayday makes. I like that. Mayday makes.
Yes. And it's also really big in parts of Wisconsin. It's like the only other place that I've heard where people drink this. But yeah, if you know about them, please tell me. It says like Michelle IRC. I don't know what that means. Most Tom and Jerry's are rum based. Is that correct? Or is my memory off? No, it's like rum, brandy. And I know like at the Crystal, they give you other options. Like you can have it with like amaretto. And I feel like there was like something with bourbon, but like I don't think as many people use that. But yeah, like the rum and brandy is like the big one. Isn't there a community tab here on YouTube? Yes, there is. There's like a post thing. I'm like running all the social and I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. So like, please tell me about these things.
Yeah, tell us about this, you guys. We just know how to talk.
Until we have money to hire a social person, which I'm hoping happens sooner rather than later. But you know,
Michelle's killing herself on this stuff. Just so you
guys which is fine. I'm not complaining. It's just, you know, my brain only has so many places that it can be.
Sorry, rum and what? Rum
and brandy.
And brandy.
Like spices. But yeah, so you do the hot water in the mug and then the alcohol, and then you put the batter, which has the spices and the whipped egg yolk, egg white, and then you fold them together. And for sugar, you use like powdered sugar, and you don't use granulated sugar.
I would
powdered sugar. It's so good.
So anything sweet mixed with alcohol, kills me. Like,
they're not big. They're like this big. You can't drink very many of them. There's like, I mean, you guess you could, but you won't feel good. But they're like very little. You have, the little Tom and Jerry cups are like this big. So,
no, not for me.
I want to drink it, but no, that Tom and Jerry sounds so interesting. It is. Seriously, there's like videos and stuff. You can go on YouTube. There's like little segments done about look up the Crystal Restaurant in Watertown, New York. There's a whole thing about it. I've been looking in New York City. I've lived in New York City for over 20 years. I have never found a place in New York City that sells them. Never.
Really?
And I look.
You make them yourself.
I do. Well, because that's the only option.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not home, especially. But yeah, I used to make them for like our Christmas party every year and stuff. But then it's so labor intensive, and I was like, this is a mess. But yeah, it's like this diner is like seriously, it's so old, and you walk in and the ceilings are tin, and it's just really cool. It's like, it's a special thing to do. So anyways, that's that. Julie, what else should we, I did bring some other things up here. Hold on. Donald Trump he was on one, on Truth Social this morning. I'm sure you saw the stuff about the CDC vaccine committee full of a bunch of quacks.
All right. Could I just say, for all the parents in the chat, how glad are you that you had kids before all of this went into effect, I would be terrified
Yeah.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Terrified. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
hepatitis is not a joke. What is
No.
going on?
No. And again, like this is like a weird, and Ruth Ben Giat has talked about this. It's like this is like a new tab under the authoritarian thing, because like going after public health like this is just like, this is correct. And this is RFK Jr. This is RFK Jr. That is what this is.
So,
And yet,
yeah, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I want to bring it back to our weekly discussion of Olivia Nuzzi and Ryan Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
I have no sex terminology to offer this week, but I do have this. This guy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has been talking about this shit for a long time. This is not, much like Project 2025, should not have been a surprise to anybody before the election.
Right.
As much like Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s views on this should not have been a surprise to anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's been talking about this forever. He is vaccinated.
Yeah,
his children are vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
His wife is vaccinated. And her kid is vaccinated. So I just want to be clear that everybody in his world is vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
However, he has gotten very rich peddling this shit.
Oh, yes.
And what is so awful about this is that Ryan Lisa knew about this stuff with Olivia Nuzzi before his confirmation hearings, as did Olivia Nuzzi. Both of them knew what this guy's confirmation would bring upon the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yet she held on to it to write her stupid book. Now, maybe she was so madly in love with him and still is that she didn't see anything wrong with this, but Ryan Lisa certainly is not madly in love with her.
You saw that Vanity Fair
fired her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About time.
Yeah, about time. Thanks, Vanity Fair. It only took you 3 fucking weeks. But the part that I just can't get over is they sat on it and waited and waited and waited to monetize.
Yep.
To monetize. And
everybody's
it's not
out for themselves.
The New York Times, there are New York Times reporters and Washington Post reporters sitting on stuff right now with book deals who are not telling us what is happening in real time, despite the fact that we pay for a New York Times subscription.
Maggie Haberman.
They're waiting to monetize it. And my attitude is, if I were running the New York Times, you cannot work here if you want to have outside income and book deals. Nope. You cannot.
Maggie Haberman guilty of this. Bob Woodward guilty.
Bob Woodward guilty of this. I'm over it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over it.
Mm-hmm.
They know stuff that they are sitting on right now that they're not sharing with the rest of us, despite the fact that they have a responsibility to their subscribers to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, Bonnie, you're saying my brother has cirrhosis of the liver because of hepatitis B. Exactly. Hepatitis is nothing to mess around with. And our friend, Dr. Vin Gupta, on one of his shows, I saw he was talking to another healthcare professional about this. And he's like, can you explain to people? Because Donald Trump is out here trying to tell people, goes vaccine recommendation for baby, the vast majority of whom are at no risk for hepatitis B, a disease that is mostly transmitted sexually or through dirty needles. This is untrue. The American childhood vaccine schedule long required 72 jabs for, I'm like not even going to read this because it's just like so.
Can I just say this? Okay, let's just say this. The vast majority of Americans have nothing to fear because it's sexually transmitted through jabs or a dirty needle. Okay. So what he's basically saying is don't do drugs and then you're not going to get hepatitis B, or don't have sex, you're not going to get hepatitis B. Well, the majority of Americans are sexually active.
Yeah, that's how the human race.
That's how the human race promulgates itself.
Right.
So now, in addition to getting tested for AIDS and getting tested for herpes and getting tested for all these other diseases, you have to get tested for hepatitis B, a disease that's been eradicated.
Yeah. I mean, hep C still makes its way, but hep C is a whole other thing. Like hepatitis in general, like let's not do it.
Yeah.
Let's not have hepatitis and let's do everything we can to prevent it.
If it's been eradicated, why do we have to even remotely worry about it? Because this decided that we have to worry about it.
Exactly. And like this is a White House who last week on the world, on the world stage, we have a day every year that we recognize the AIDS crisis and we honor those who we have lost. We honor the mistakes that were made, and we talk about how to save lives going forward. And the White House refused to acknowledge that day this year. And that should tell us everything about this White House. Everything. And it's just that I have a hard time wrapping my head around all of this, because, like, I don't know how you can feel good and powerful and also destroy public health, like, and everyone dies and you die and I just don't know how. Like, you can be an awful person and do all terrible things and be an authoritarian, but you can also, like, have public health, like, safety. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand.
And speaking of safety and public safety, I just want to talk about one more thing, which is insane. So I don't know if people have paid attention, but Indiana has had ups and downs with redistricting. Trump really, really, really wants them to do mid-cycle redistricting.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, the Republican, I think it's the Senate Majority Leader or President, whoever the head of the Senate Republicans is resistant. They just don't think it's the right thing to do. Their attitude is, if we're going to do redistricting, let's do it during normal cycles, not in the midterm.
Right.
Well, Erica Kirk, who is being platformed by everybody, and who now has a book out, or I should say her late husband has a book out. Charlie Kirk has a book out called, and I'm not kidding, Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Transform Your Life. In the midst of her Stop in the Name of God, and why can't we all just get along, and why can't AOC and Nancy Mace just go to Subway and get a sandwich and hug it out, she and her organization are very strongly pushing this Indiana redistricting. Now, you may say, okay, that's their prerogative. However, there are 9 Republican senators who are not quite there to support this, which means that it's not going to happen. They're facing massive threats of violence.
Yep.
Trump truthed out on a Stupid Truth Social the names of these 9 senators and said, quote, they need encouragement to make the right decision. Turning Point has been allying with him and Republican groups to do that. Their PAC, Turning Point Action, announced that it would partner with other Trump-aligned PACs to dedicate an 8-figure spend to primary people that are standing in the way of the president's agenda. And I'm going to quote from Erica Kirk's organization. This is what they said. This is what her spokesperson said. This Turning Point USA spokesperson said, we look at Indiana as a test case and a cautionary tale. Potentially one or the other. It's their choice.
You know.
So these people are facing threats of violence at the hands of people like the President of the United States and Erica Kirk. But tell me more about how Erica, you could do your impression of Erica Kirk.
Oh gosh, she's like, well, and then she always grabs, she's got one. It's never too far away, guys. It's never too far away. And just I can't. The acting.
It's not even good acting, Michelle. That was
No,
better
it's
acting.
terrible.
It's better acting than she
Soap
did.
opera. It's like, I'm like, she missed her calling at General Hospital, because she's a ridiculous person and she's a propagandist, and like now she's going to be a useful tool for MAGA, because now that the shock has worn off from Charlie Kirk's death, right? And like the all of the cancel culture happening on their side, where they're canceling and firing anybody who called out the fact that the guy was a raging racist. Now that has worn off, now that they're going to peddle this white woman out with long blonde hair and blue eyes, and they're going to,
yeah.
What's that?
She's a haircut, by the way, but anyway.
Yeah, I also think those are extensions. I think those are all, I think a lot of that's extensions, because it looks very, I mean, whatever. That's just my opinion. Doesn't matter.
Her,
But
her choice. But go ahead.
yeah. She's very, very long blonde hair. But she they're gonna peddle her out again because she is now this sympathetic figure. And until someone calls her out and gives her a tough interview, she is going to continue to get away with this. No one calls her out on her hypocrisy, telling women that they don't need to work and like they need to focus on their families. But to my question would be, well, who was watching your children when you were touring around the country, running your mouth, telling everybody else how to run theirs?
My other question is, what were you doing working till your 30s when you got married and had kids? Like,
right. And what about this nonprofit that you were running in Eastern Europe that you got kicked out of the country? What the hell's going on with that? And there's a whole lot about her that like it's like still people are like tiptoeing around because they're like, well, she's a widow and the thing. Okay, she's a widow, yes, but she has now made the active choice to place herself in the middle of American politics. She is a public figure and she deserves and should be held accountable for the things that she says and the things that she stands for. She is now the CEO of TPUSA, which is one of the most powerful youth movements in the country. And she needs to be asked questions.
And you're not going to get anybody to ask her those tough questions because she's still the grieving widow, which is how everybody's treating her, despite the fact she's working with Donald Trump to threaten these people who are getting death threats. Now, they will say, well, we don't condone the death threats. Bullshit. You're putting a
Yeah, they do.
Yes, you do.
It's all a dog whistle. And this is the thing about the dog whistles is that when Donald Trump says that they need encouragement, whatever, the dog whistles exist and they frame these things because it gives them plausible deniability because they're not actually coming out and saying it. It's the same way that like the Pantone or whatever came out with a color of the year and it's white this year. Did you see this?
Mm-hmm.
The color is white this year, not cerulean, not like any purple, nothing like that. The color is white. And, you know, it's a dog whistle. And there's like, no, it's not. It's just the trend of like bullshit. This is a dog whistle. Dog whistles exist to send a message without actually saying it so that whomever sends the message has plausible deniability for whatever comes next. And that is what they're doing. And MAGA functions in violence. These are the same people who storm the Capitol and try to hang the Vice President of the United States. It's the same cohort of people. And that's why anytime anybody does anything, they immediately, I mean, they couldn't wait after the Charlie Kirk thing. Oh no, the gun was trans, the shooter was trans, this was trans. Like, you know, they would love to absolve themselves from any responsibility in any of this, but really it is central to how they do business and how they do politics. And you know, I'll show this too. Donald Trump has really been on one this morning, speaking of like threats and complaining. Fox and Friends Weekend had a stockbroker on their show this morning, and Donald Trump is very unhappy about this. So at 7:31 a.m. today, he said, "Why would Fox and Friends Weekend, of all things, put on a stockbroker named Peter Schiff, a Trump-hating loser who has already proven to be wrong? Either the show made a mistake or it is heading in a different direction. He thinks prices are going up when in fact they are coming down, substantially down. That's a lie. Gasoline hit $1.99 a gallon yesterday in certain states." Right. Yeah. Name one. And is down big since Biden. Other prices are almost down. Biden caused the affordability crisis. I'm fixing it. Along with everything else, much of it, like the border, is already fixed. Check out the quote unquote booker who put this jerk on. Now, if I'm Peter Schiff, I'm about to have a really bad day. I'm going to get, you know, death threats and threats of violence.
Booker. So listen, let me tell you about the bookers of Fox and Friends. They're all very young.
And
he knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get a booker fired. He's trying to get a kid fired. And check out this booker. Somebody's going to figure out this booker's name. He's putting a kid who needs a job out of business.
Bookers like work so hard.
Bookers are like the youngest of the young. And he's literally putting some kid in danger for booking somebody who said something he didn't like.
Yep.
This is equivalent. I mean, look, all of us have watched Lifetime Movie Network movies, right? It's like those drama movies where some woman who's married meets a young impressionable kid and she has this affair with him, and then after a while, and she keeps telling him, oh, my husband's abusive and my husband's awful to me and we'll only be together if we get rid of if my husband were suddenly disappear, and oh my God, I would just do anything to have my husband disappear, but I can't get divorced, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
But God, I would do anything to have my husband disappear. And
Mhm.
suddenly the 18-year-old kid goes and shoots the husband. This is literally every Lifetime Movie Network movie ever.
Yeah.
And you know, oh, I never told him to do that.
Yeah. Why would he
That's
do that?
what he's
Yeah.
doing to his people.
Yeah. And by the way, people are sending in the chat like how much gas is. Please tell us.
Yeah.
We got $2.80 a gallon in Columbus, Ohio. Let's see. We've got $2.10 in Lubbock, Texas.
That's a slow
$3.59 in Phoenix, Arizona. $2.89 in Cong, New Jersey. $3.05 in Fairfield, Connecticut. Cheapest gas around me, I don't know where that is, but $4 a gallon. $2.65 in New Hampshire. $2.93 in Londonderry, New Hampshire. $2.90 in Indianapolis. $2.90. This is great. Thank you, guys. $2.90 in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Florida, $3. $3.53 in Idaho. Let's see what else we got. $4.15 in Suisun. Is that Suisun City, California? $2.54 in Missouri. $2.54 in Missouri. $4.59 in Los Angeles.
No,
My
you
God.
guys, California, you guys have crazy gas taxes.
I know. $2.10 in Tyler, Texas. $2.32 East Texas. $2.85 in Maine. $2.30 in Buffalo. Brett Campbell, I have an e-bike. Good for you. So my husband too.
I have an e-car. So
work.
I have no idea what gas is, so I'm laughing at that. But go ahead.
I use unleaded 88, $2.55. $2.39 in Fort Worth, Texas. I use Costco at Sitco, $2.90 in Greensboro, North Carolina. $4.59 in Portland, Oregon. Oh my gosh. $4.05 in Cincinnati, Ohio. $3.59 in Phoenix, Arizona. Maybe I'll put all this together in a clip. $2.74 Palmer, Massachusetts. $2.97 Chicago suburbs. $4.99 California. $3.55 in Chicago. $2.45 in Kenosha, Wisconsin. $7.90 Imperial Gown in Canada got higher prices. You get more for all that up there than we get for anything here. $2.83 in St. Louis during the shutdown. We were at $2.64, $2.71, $3.21 in Western Pennsylvania. $3.59 in Phoenix is the cheapest unleaded. Wow. $2.57 Louisville, Kentucky. $3.49 in Virginia. $4.60 in Redding, California. North Arlington, $2.92. Fort Lauderdale, $3.09. $5.25 in Humboldt County, California. Wow. Late again, $2.79 Mexican border in Arizona. $2.79 Keensburg,
Bayshore,
New Jersey. New Bedford, Massachusetts, $2.62 to $2.99. $3.19 in Nashville, Tennessee. $4.03 Elk Grove, California. $2.60 New Jersey. $4.85 North Coast, California. $3.20 in Southwest Pennsylvania. Let's see, 150. I don't know what that means, but for 158 cents per
Valley.
Yeah. Let's see. I got a couple more here. Yeah, exactly. The moral of the story is there is no gas that is $1.99. $4.26 in Simi Valley, California. $1.99 Trumpland, exactly, which doesn't exist. $2.19 to $2.29 Central Arkansas. Over $3 in Gainesville, Florida. $3.30 in Buffalo. Denver, $2.48. I mean, here's
first of all,
Donald Trump is gaslighting the American people and telling them that they are not hurting and that they are not paying what they're paying for all their groceries, their gas, their everything. And he thinks we're stupid. And he's actually angry. 447 Honolulu. Oh my gosh. I mean, everything's more expensive in Hawaii, but like, my God. This is the thing. He resents the American people for this. He resents people for it. And this is why, I see a commercial gas price. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. He thinks people are dumb. And he's angry.
Yeah.
Wild, guys. Wild.
I mean, he's angry and he's delusional. And I think I've said this before, but I think I've cracked what's going on with him from a health perspective. I think he's got Alzheimer's. I think he's taking a drug called Kinsella, which you take once a month to clear the plaque off your brain to slow the progression of Alzheimer's. I think he has a preventative MRI, as he put it. It's really called a PET scan because they have to check for brain bleeds because that's a very dangerous drug. And it's an infusion, so it is being given to you intravenously. So I think that's why you're seeing once a month or once every 2 weeks, because there's two drugs. One you could take once a month and once every 2 weeks. You can see that he probably has an IV in his vein because it's you take it through infusion.
Yep.
And he's
and
a PET scan is not just for cancer. A PET scan is also to see whether you have brain bleeds in your brain. So, and it is technically preventative in that they want to prevent him having a brain hemorrhage because this drug, when it scrapes the plaque off your brain, also obviously can cause brain bleeds. So that's what's going on with him. It's not good. I would not wish Alzheimer's on my worst enemy. I do not wish Alzheimer's on him. I am very sorry if he has it. However, it is a disease that sometimes could be genetic, and he certainly has it in his family, and he's the right age for it. He is 79 years old, perfect age to get it. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it found when they did a scan of his brain. And what's scary about this, Michelle, is that if in fact he does have dementia or Alzheimer's, this Republican Party is so cowed that they will go along with whatever he says, even if he is, literally demented in the sense that he's got dementia.
Oh yeah, and I think that I think the Republicans still would rather have a dementia Donald Trump in the White House, knowing that he's surrounded by people who will do the bidding of their regime than to have anybody else because they know that they can control him.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of this. And I think, and I'm just purely speculating here, but I think that there is a small circle of people inside the White House who know what's going on. And I think it's Susie Wiles. I think it's JD Vance, probably Stephen Miller, Russ Vogt, maybe a couple more. Jared definitely knows. But those people are keeping their cards,
Well, let me tell you something. It is the public's business to know because he is the president of the United States. He is represents us, and it's not a private matter, and it's not a HIPAA matter. And Congress should pass a bill, which they never will do while he's president, but the next time that they have to disclose presidential medical records. Like, this is insane.
Yeah, this is nuts.
Insane. We need to know. We need to know what is happening.
Yes, we do. And this guy has the nukes. And this is where, again, I will invite people to go watch House of Dynamite on Netflix, because it will give you an idea that even if we had a competent, democracy-loving president in the White House right now, which we do not, but if we did, still, how unprepared we would be if a nuclear missile were to head towards the United States and hit in the lower 48. We are unprepared. And the fact that Donald Trump not only has no idea what's going on, doesn't know where his nose is, and feels no alliance or obligation to, do anything that would be helpful to the United States, because he cares about himself. He cares about Vladimir Putin. Ooh, look at this. Thank you. Drink delivery. And what's this?
Little coffee cake.
Oh, coffee cake from Joe. Thank you. So sweet. As I talk about nuclear annihilation, and then I get a coffee delivery, but it's, I think it's important that people understand this about him. And, again, like this, I want to play that a little affordability thing that I made the other day about him, because again, he says one thing, does another, says something else. I'm just going to play this really quick.
So when I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one. Starting on day one.
Many months later.
About affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. They just say it. Affordability. Eggs. You did a great job on that, Madam Secretary. We got the egg prices way down. The word affordability is a con job by the Democrats. They say affordable. I watched the other day where some very low IQ congresswoman talked about affordability. She had no idea. Their prices were much higher. About affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. They just say it.
I mean, yeah. And that's the thing, is like, he's angry, because he's angry that like people aren't just buying it. He's like, I don't understand. Why are these people, why are these Americans, why are they so ungrateful? And that's why anytime he's asked about it, he gets angry. And, so Eric Huddleston, cauliflower nose, correct. He did not look good. That's why I always try to do those close-ups with him. I try to get as close to his face as I possibly can with those videos. I was like, because people need to see it. People need to see what is going on.
I mean, look, we're in a bad place, you guys, on so many different levels. And I think that's why Michelle yesterday said she'd had it. She needed a break.
Yeah, well, and this is the last thing. This is the last bad news, and then we can go out with something else. But this too, The Atlantic just wrote this story about Pete Hegseth seriously testing Trump's no scalps rule. Lawmakers are finally waking up to the problems the defense secretary has created. I just want to read through this really quick so that people understand also this boat strike situation. So the suspected drug traffickers, the lone survivors of U.S. airstrike, were sprawled on a table-sized piece of floating wreckage in the Caribbean for more than 40 minutes. They were unarmed, incommunicado, and adrift as they repeatedly attempted to right what remained of their boat. At one point, the men raised their arms and seemed to signal to the U.S. aircraft above, a gesture some who watched a video of the incident interpreted as a sign of surrender. Then, a second explosion finished the men off, leaving only a bloody stain on the surface of the sea. Footage of the two men's desperate final moments made some viewers nauseated, leading one to nearly vomit. Quote, It was worse than we had been led to believe. The video was part of a briefing that Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley, the head of U.S. Special Operations Command, gave lawmakers yesterday about the September 2 attack. Bradley told legislators that after consulting military lawyers, one like Lieutenant Colonel Urso, who we have on the show, someone like her, authorized the follow-up on strike, judging that the men still posed a threat because of what they could have done. Radioed for help or been picked up with what remained of their cargo of suspected cocaine. The video suggested they didn't actually do any of that, but Bradley defended his decisions in the first episode of the Trump administration's campaign. So says Hegseth has denied the reports that he used the verbal no quarter order. The thing that's even just a little bit promising about this is that is some bipartisan outrage here. I want to play this clip from Jim Himes, who we're going to have on
Yes.
probably the first episode of the Mayday podcast. We'll have a long form conversation with him, and we want to talk to him about this, but I just want to play this really quick.
What I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service. Under the DoD manual for abiding by the laws of armed conflict, the specific example given of an impermissible action is attacking a shipwreck. Any American who sees the video that I saw will see the United States military attacking shipwrecked sailors. People will someday see this video and they will see that that video shows, if you don't have the broader context, an attack on shipwrecked sailors.
Julie? Yeah.
I mean, what is there to say? I mean, I have a lot of questions for Jim Himes, and we're going to be saying it. I've looked at them. We're going to be saying it to him, and I have questions for him. But if what is written in the Atlantic is accurate, and I have no doubt that it is,
Yeah.
we are talking about murder.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the violation of the law under both military law and civilian law.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about a war crime when we are not at war. And this is not just something for which Pete Hegseth needs to resign. This is something for which he needs to get prosecuted.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody here saw that clip of Tom
I think we
Cotton.
should go to jail.
Yeah. Oh, big time. And I don't know if anybody saw that clip of Tom
I
Cotton.
haven't. Yeah, people are saying Tom Cotton in the chat. What's going on with that? Because I don't know about that.
Okay. Tom Cotton was on CNN yesterday, I believe.
Okay.
And he was on the morning show. And he was asked on the morning show about this. And Tom Cotton kept saying that he thinks the president has the authority to do this. And he was being asked consistently, what authority does he have? Because you did not authorize the use of military force. You, a United States senator, never authorized this. And he said, well, Obama killed a Laki, and he was an American citizen, and he killed him with a drone, and that was extrajudicial. Well, and the answer was, but maybe it wasn't, maybe it wasn't. But the excuse that Obama used, or the rationale that Obama gave for this, was that he had the use, he was authorized use of military force to go after ISIS and to go after Al-Qaeda.
Mm-hmm.
That no longer exists. And Cotton kept saying the president has the ability to do this. He can designate anybody as a terrorist organization, and he's now designated this regime as a terrorist organization, this regime being these drug runners. To which I say this, and he was not asked this question. If that is true, the president of the United States can walk up to anybody
Yeah.
at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
He can designate the Democratic Party
Which they're already kind of trying to do.
as a terrorist organization.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is true, that means that under Tom Cotton's rationale, anybody who's a registered Democratic voter, I am, Michelle, you are,
Mm-hmm.
are terrorists. And therefore, extrajudiciously, he could just come up here and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how Stalinist purges began.
Yep.
That is what Hitler did.
And again, John Roberts' Supreme Court has given him complete immunity from doing anything illegal as long as it's deemed an official act.
So I say all this to say, before we go, because we've been at this for over an hour and a half, we're living in a really, I know people keep joking like I want out of this timeline. We're living in a really dangerous time. I mean, a really dangerous time. We are the most powerful nation on earth with the most powerful military on earth and the largest economy in the world. And we're being run by a man who I believe has Alzheimer's,
Mm-hmm.
and who increasingly is getting more and more and more extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And-
And unhinged, yeah.
And if you know anything about this disease, which I sadly have learned a lot about recently, it leads to people getting angrier. It leads to people getting more out of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
That's very dangerous when you have this kind of power. And when you have a Congress who, rather than acting as a check, and a Supreme Court that rather than acting as a check, acts as an enabler.
Yep.
You know, that's terrifying. And you're seeing the result of this when you have somebody like Tom Cotton going up there and effectively saying, you know, it's fine. This is what he's designated. If he's designated this, then it's all okay. I mean, if that's the case, then he's not, you guys, I just want to be realistic. He's not going to get impeached. He's not
No.
going to get impeached. It's a Republican Congress. He's not going to get impeached. Even if Democrats took over the House and Senate, you're still not going to have the 3/5 majority in the Senate to convict him and remove him from office. Like, it's not going to happen. It's not. And they're not going to vote the 25th Amendment because they have a useful idiot who's doing all of their
They
bidding.
do, and they're all too split on like who would fill the vacuum of MAGA after that too. I mean, it really is like a power grab situation too.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Nobody wants J.D. Vance to be running.
No,
Be
nobody
careful what
likes
you wish for.
him.
But even more than that, be careful what you wish for. You do not want J.D. Vance as president.
Exactly. And meanwhile, by the way, did you see that at the national parks? By the way, they took that you can get in free on Donald Trump's birthday now. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, just this will be the last thing. National parks cut free entry for MLK Day, but add Trump's birthday. So they got rid of free entry for national parks on Juneteenth and Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but added Donald Trump's birthday. I'm going to give you the list here. Which days are free? President's Day, Memorial Day, Flag Day. They're saying Flag Day, President Donald Trump's birthday. And since when does anyone care about Flag Day? Nobody cares. Independence Day, July 3rd through 5th. The birthday of the National Park Service, Constitution Day, Theodore Roosevelt's birthday, which makes sense because he's the conservationist, and Veterans Day. And, you know, it's being reported that Trump's birthday is being added because we all know that Flag Day is not anything anyone cares about. It's Trump's birthday, and that's why we had a military parade on his birthday. And the White House's rapid response team, you know, yelling at Peter Baker, a serious reporter from the New York Times, that it's Flag Day, you insufferable moron, which also happens to be President Trump's birthday. But you already knew that. You're sick and pathetic Lil Pete. So, you know.
Well, maybe Lil Pete could become Secretary of State soon, since the last guy got called Lil anything was Little Marco. But
well, Julie, maybe next Saturday, as long as the world doesn't end, we can talk about our Apple Music and Spotify replay list for 2025, and we can talk about, you know, what's the music we listen to the most.
I can't do that.
Why?
Because my son uses my Spotify all the time.
Oh,
and so
and you don't use Apple Music?
No. And we did the rap thing, to see what the music was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know who these people are, but let's just say it's a lot of Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, yeah. Well,
not
well,
good.
maybe I can share mine.
Yours. I just shared mine. It has nothing to do with me. I know.
And there's a lot of Chapel Roan.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
So great to see everybody here.
You ladies owe us an AMA. Yes.
Oh, you an AMA. Well,
We haven't
you
done
know
one in
what?
a while. We keep trying to do it and then we get off topic and we
keep
start.
trying to do it on Fridays, but let me ask you guys a question, because this is all like before we launched, we kind of want to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
You guys want us to do an AMA on Substack the way we've done them, or do you want us to do AMAs on the Mayday Morning Show on Fridays, or do you guys like keeping the morning show to news?
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're debating, because we could do it either way. It's just a question of how to do it.
Yeah. Mikey said, is Tara and Joe not here anymore? So we had our last Over It show on Wednesday. And it's, you know, what has basically happened is we did this, we started doing, goodness gracious. Excuse me. We started doing the show about a year ago, and, you know, JoJo is building the Siren, which is her own network and platform with like a whole bunch of contributors and whatnot. And Tara's doing her Substack, and she's very busy with Seneca Project. And so Julie and I want to build this. And so because of that, it's just with schedules and whatnot, it's just very difficult to commit to schedule wise. So so the Saturday will always be Julie and me, maybe plus friends or friends of the show, and come on, and we
And Tara,
try to keep
by the way,
things.
Tara will hopefully be on when she can.
Yeah, Tara, the door is always open for Tara to come and join us. But there will no more Wednesday show. That's over. But this will always exist, at least with us. And since I watched JoJo from Jersey, yes, you should continue to. She does lots of stuff over at the Siren and on her Substack as well. So definitely go follow JoJo. You know, she's very smart, but also a hoot. So definitely go and support her and Tara's Uncompromised Substack. You definitely should check that out as well. It says I keep morning news to news and do AMA separate. I think, yeah, the Daily Dispatch, yeah, like a Mayday news kind of thing. Yeah.
Here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna schedule a Substack AMA, hopefully for this week. Just in full transparency, guys. I keep alluding to this, but I'm just going to be honest with you guys because you're like family. So I think the reason I know so much about Alzheimer's is my mom got diagnosed, which is what I've been dealing with the last month or so. I have to now take her. The reason I know so much about this Trump stuff is because my mom might be getting this treatment. We don't know whether she qualifies for it or not. It's because they have to make sure that she doesn't have brain bleeds. But which is also how I know a lot about that, preventative MRIs and preventative scans. If she does qualify, I will have to go with her to these treatments, and it's once every month or once every 2 weeks, depending on which treatment she gets. It's going to be a little harder for me to be adding stuff like AMAs in the time that she's doing that stuff. But I'm going to do it as much as I can. And we're going to try to fit it all in. But if you wonder why maybe I'm not around as much during the week as I used to be, it's just because I'll have to take her, and obviously she can't go by herself. And you know, it is what it is, and I'm sorry about that. But obviously, I'm much more sorry that this is happening. So, everybody, thank you. The only reason I'm not reading out your comments is because it's just I don't want to break down, but I appreciate it. So that's what we're dealing with here. And on that note, but we are going to try to do a AMA. That's why we haven't done it, to be honest. Just dealing
and
with
then the New York thing that we had planned to do as well. It's just been, the
New York stuff. Remember, we were going to do a New York thing. We were going to do it, and then this happened, and I just haven't. You know, as you can imagine, I've been kind of preoccupied with other stuff. So. But we are going to do the New York thing. I don't know whether we're going to start it. What we want to probably do with the New York thing is we're going to do it after we launch in January. We are going to start doing the Americans rewatch.
Yes.
And we are going to start doing that over the holidays, I think, because, it's a fun kind of crazy, we can focus on the Cold War, which in retrospect seems like a lovely time.
Yeah.
To focus on those happy days of the Cold War.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. And that's what's happening. So, and I appreciate you guys. And I usually don't ever talk about, obviously, personal family stuff, but I just, this community is such a family. I just felt I needed to be transparent with you about why all the plans that we had got put a little bit on hold for me. But we're also launching the Mayday podcast with Jim Himes, hopefully this week. As I said, we've got Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman scheduled to come on too. We're going to keep, if you have ideas for who you want to hear from, any members of Congress, any members of the Senate, anybody else, any other guests, please let us know.
Yeah, leave it in the comments for sure.
Because we'll get them, or we'll
read them.
Yeah. And is the New York concept something like from Anthony Bourdain? I wish it was something like from Anthony Bourdain. I wish I knew as much about food as Anthony Bourdain did to do this. The New York concept is that we both live in New York. We both love, love, love New York. And there are parts of New York that people don't know about because they're not from here. And when they come to New York, they go see the usual stuff. They go see the Rockettes around this time of year. They go see the tree. They go see the Empire State Building. They go all this stuff. Waj Ali, happy to have him on anytime. But get right on that. You know what? I would love to have Erica Kirk on. I don't think she'd come on, but I would love to have Erica Kirk.
No. Yeah.
Love.
I don't have anything nice to say to that woman.
No, I'd love to have her on. I'd love to have her on and call her out. You know? I don't have a problem with that. I'm just not going to have liars on. If she's going to lie,
Right.
we'll cut her off. But if she wants to have an honest discussion about what she stands for, happy to do it. Don Reed, Joy Lemon, will work on it. No problem. Anna Applebaum, Ruth Ben-Ghiat, will do that. Work on it. And Mary Trump, work on it. Pete Buttigieg already working on it.
Yep.
So Kathy Griffin, you know what? That's a great idea.
I
Kathy
love
Griffin.
Kathy Griffin.
You know what?
I'd be
That is
happy to
a
talk to
great
her.
idea. We're gonna get Kathy Griffin. I
Mhm.
love that.
She'd do
I
it too. She'd
love
do it.
that. You would. Rachel Maddow. I mean, fine, but you guys can watch Rachel Maddow every night, or
Yeah.
yes, Josh Shapiro, work on it, no problem.
Mhm.
And Roland Martin, if you guys want to hear from Roland Martin, would love to. John Bon Jovi. I got some good John Bon Jovi stories, guys. Not so sure. Not so sure. I've hung out with John Bon Jovi. Does good work from a charity perspective, but
Yeah.
Chris Murphy, great.
Becca
Happy to-
Ballant. We've had her
Yeah,
on.
we'll have Becca Ballant. We'll have her back
back.
on. We love Becca Ballant. She's fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Jen Welch, love to. Julia Yaffe, great idea. Love Julia Yaffe. We'll do that. Martin, you guys mentioned it. Anyway, the whole New York thing is we're gonna do it. We're gonna do Michelle's and Julie's New York, like places
Yep.
that we actually
Yep. That we love, that we go to. Yeah.
to.
All the
And
Poundstones.
so for people who either have never been to New York but want to experience it through our eyes, or people who have been to New York and just want to go down memory lane, or people who live in New York and maybe want to come join us.
Mhm.
Let's do it. Rosie O'Donnell.
I love
sure.
Rosie.
What? You know her?
No, I said I love Rosie. I
Oh,
love
well,
Rosie. I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
her, but no.
Fine, we'll get Rosie. No problem.
Yeah.
Julie's the Forrest Gump of politics. Yeah, I told you I'm Timu Gump.
I know. Timu Gump.
I'm Timu Gump.
Josh Hawley. Oh my God.
I'd have Josh Hawley on in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Heather Cox Richardson, definitely a work on it. I don't know who Sandy Lysandra Vasquez. I'm not sure I know who that is.
Duckworth.
Tammy Duckworth, sure. Okay. These are all great ideas.
Yeah, these are great. These are great.
We'll work on all of them. And Michelle Wu is a great idea. The mayor of Boston, Stephanie Rule, sure. And does that make Michelle Bubba?
Aw.
Poor Bubba. Poor Bubba Gump.
Shrimp cocktail.
Shrimp cocktail.
Shrimp gumbo.
Shrimp bisque.
Boil it, fry it. Let's see. Yeah, these are all great. These are all great. I want to ask the good liars to come on too.
Yes, those guys are great.
Because Jason's my old college friend. I think that'd be fun. And I haven't gotten a chance to really do anything with him since entering the political scene number of years ago. So I'd love to have Jim Acosta on to chat with us too.
Oh, we'll have Jim Acosta on. We love Jim Acosta.
Yeah.
We love Jim Acosta. Okay, guys, these are all great ideas. And no MTN people, please and thank you. I don't know who MTN people are, but they have their own podcast.
Midas.
Yeah. No, I know, but they have their. That's what I'm saying. They have their own.
Yeah.
People. They don't need us.
Yeah.
Do you guys really want Liz Cheney on? Would that be interesting to you? Like, out of curiosity, I'm just curious. Do people really want to hear from her? Because it sounds to me like we kind of know what she's going to say. Amanda Gorman would be fantastic. I love her.
I want Colbert. He would never, but that's who I want.
He might.
Colbert.
Stephen Colbert, New Jersey's own Stephen Colbert from Montclair, New Jersey. I bet you.
Colbert or Mark Maron.
Before all is said and done, that we will get Stephen Colbert on this podcast.
Oh.
I bet you we could make that happen.
Yeah, I've told you I know we got to go, but my Stephen Colbert, so a friend of mine who worked on The Late Show, I told him the story. And it's funny because he had a connection to the story. But when I was in 10th grade and I was taking AP European history, it was one of those classes that every other day we met for 2 periods. So it was like 1 period, 2 period, 1 period, 2. And so it was kind of like a loosey-goosey class. And we always, it was like just, kind of quirky, smart kids and whatever. So I was telling him, I was like, I'm watching this new show called The Daily Show. And there's this guy named Stephen Colbert, and he's one of these guys they have in the field. And this is when Craig Kilborn was hosting. before Jon Stewart. And he did, you know, satire stuff out in the field. And he did a story about a Ku Klux Klan rally. And he interviewed people from the Klan. Now, obviously, this is satire. It's meant to be funny, and to shine light on the hypocrisy and like horribleness of it, right? So I said to my teacher, I said, Mr. Fitzgerald, can I bring this in? I really want to show people. He said, sure. So I play it in the class. You know, I wheel in the TV with the VCR and we watch it. And he looked at me and he goes, Michelle, this is not funny. This is
Why?
not funny.
Thought it was like
He thought it was serious and that I
real.
was like, endorsing the Ku Klux Klan. And I got in trouble for this because of Stephen Colbert's story about the Ku Klux Klan. Now, I have since told my friends who worked for Colbert and stuff, because apparently this segment that he did with the Ku Klux Klan almost got him killed. They like chased him, literally like tried to chase him out of town, and they were running. And he talks about this on it. And my friend had actually produced the segment where Stephen Colbert like goes back and tells the story. But anyway, and since then I've had numerous run-ins with Stephen Colbert. I sat next to him sitting watching a Tom Stoppard play. I had my friend was the audience coordinator at the Colbert Report. I've been to the show many, many times. I've talked to him. He has no idea who I am. So none of that, but like, it was like my dream job to work for Stephen Colbert. And I'm very sad that that will probably never happen. But
Well,
I think
we will get
the
Stephen
next best
Colbert.
thing would be to have him on the show so that I can talk to him about musicals and Lord of the Rings. I think that'd be great.
Lord of the Rings. Why? Is he a big Lord of the Rings guy?
Oh, like super fan. Like he can
Really?
like quote the entire book. Yes.
Really?
Oh my, Tolkien is like he's like a Tolkien whisperer. Like seriously.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Oh yeah. I'll send you stuff. He's like a crazy Tolkien fan.
Okay.
Crazy. Yeah.
Stephen Colbert, just so people know, is the nicest guy in the world. He still teaches Sunday school every Sunday in New Jersey.
Stephen Colbert. Mhm.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert. And
Yeah.
we are going to have him on this podcast.
Yeah.
Hell or
Yeah.
high water. We will make that happen.
Yeah. I even another thing too is like I've always really appreciated his conversations about grief, and his connection with Joe Biden I thought was like really lovely and genuine. And actually for one of my wedding anniversaries, Joe and my husband and I went to go see Stephen Colbert and Joe Biden talk at Lincoln Center and stuff. So it's just, you know, I just love him. He's great. So if you know Stephen Colbert, tell him we love him and please come on the show.
We will get Stephen Colbert. We will
Yeah.
make that happen.
Anyways.
Yes. Okay. So we'll get Mikey Sherrill, who's his neighbor in Montclair.
Oh yeah. We should have Mikey Sherrill on. That would be great.
Mikey Sherrill on.
Mhm.
His neighbor in Montclair.
Mhm.
Lots of good people. Lots
Yeah.
of good people.
Dancing.
Ted
I love
Danson.
that Conan.
Oh my God. You guys
I'd
want to
love
hear?
to have Conan on the show.
You guys want to hear a funny Ted Danson story before we go?
Yes.
Really got to go. I got to take my son to squash. But you want to hear a Timu Gump story?
Yes. Yes.
This is a Timu Gump story. I should have like Julie's Timu Gump like stories. Like, did you ever watch the Chappelle Show?
I did and didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't like a crazy fan, but I did see some episodes.
If anybody watched the Chappelle Show, they had Charlie Murphy, who was Eddie Murphy's brother, and they had like Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories, and it was like always like Timu, like Eddie Murphy stories. This is like my Timu Gump story. So back in 1996, I was working for a congressman named Frank Pallone. Frank Pallone, in addition to many other things, is a massive environmentalist. And, really big on, because he represents the Jersey Shore, very big on no bad stuff in the water. Ted Danson is a huge environmentalist, which is how he and Larry David are such good friends. And Ted Danson ran, not ran, but I think he was like the chair of, I think it was called Clean Water Action, but I forgot. It was some big pro.
Yeah. He's like a big them. He and his
Big,
wife,
big,
Mary
big-
Steenburgen.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's pre-Mary, maybe I don't know, maybe it's not pre-Mary Steenburgen, but anyway, this is back in the mid 90s.
Mhm.
I was putting together this fundraiser for Frank Pallone, and Frank Pallone was having Ted Danson come and be his guy.
Mhm.
And there was this, my friend, I forgot who this guy was, but he would always call, somebody who was a friend of mine, would always call and impersonate people. And he would always call like he would like do a great like impression of anybody, right? And he did it to me all the time. So the morning of this fundraiser, I get a call and I hear, "Hi, Julie, it's Ted Danson." And I'm thinking, now I was 23 years old. And I hear, "Hi, Julie, it's Ted Danson." And I'm convinced that it's my friend. And I'm like, "Okay, Ted Danson." I'm like, "Whatever." And he's like, "Excuse me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, Ted Danson. Like you've done a goddamn like thing since Cheers. Like you haven't done one interesting thing since Cheers." And I just hear this pause, and I could hear the confusion. And he goes, "I just wanted to be sure that the fundraiser was still at." And
Oh no, Julie, no.
Yep. Oh yes.
So terrible.
Oh yes, that happened. Oh yes.
Oh my God.
I was like,
Oh God.
I
No,
don't know.
yeah.
I was
We
like,
have to have Ted Danson because he's got a
we're never,
podcast now.
we're never invoking
What?
best.
You can like talk to him about it and be like, "I'm so sorry," and explain it to him.
Well, no, I'm not gonna be like, "You haven't done anything interesting since Cheers," because that's kind of insulting. But anyway, so I was horrified. I have to go to this fundraiser now, like 5 hours later.
Oh
I
no.
don't introduce myself to him. I practically stay in the car. I'm so embarrassed and I'm so mortified. And by the way, I love Cheers. I worship Cheers.
Yeah, I love Ted Danson. He's great.
When Cheers ended, I was
so good.
I was sobbing when Cheers ended. Sobbing. I love everything Ted Danson has done. I love him and Larry. Like I think he's
You were
like,
just making a joke because you thought it was your friend
I
calling
thought it
him
was my friend. But can you imagine if you're Ted Danson and you're hearing some 23-year-old person being like, "Fuck yeah, Ted Danson, all right, like you've done a goddamn thing since Cheers." I mean, talk
I
about
wonder if he remembers this.
I don't know, but I remember it, and I mean, like, it's all the more painful because unlike Tony Danza, I actually love Ted Danson.
Right.
And
This
I
is
know.
why we have to have him on. This is why we should. You have to tell the story, and then we have to have Julie and Ted Danson meet again, and you're going to explain because I think he'd first of all laugh about it now, and he probably remembers this.
I don't know.
He probably remembers this.
I have Cliff Clavin stories too. Cliff Clavin's a big Republican. I used to see him in
yeah, he is. He's like
I
Trumper.
I used to see John Ratzenberger at Fox all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's on Fox, or is he still alive?
I don't know, but he's still alive. He was on
Yeah.
He was on Fox. So yeah, I've got Cliff stories.
He like lives in Florida now or something.
Yeah,
right?
they're not that good. Yeah, like John Ratzenberger or whatever, like
Yeah.
her personality. But yes. Those are the only two. And I met Rhea Perlman once. She was great.
She's awesome. Love her.
Yeah, she's great. But yes, the Ted Danson story. It's been, almost 30
He's
years.
got a podcast on Conan O'Brien's network now.
He does.
Mm-hmm. Him and Woody Harrelson, I think, right? Together, right?
Oh,
And
really?
they've got yeah. You got to watch Conan O'Brien's channel on YouTube. It's great.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to get Ted Danson on the show. Julie's Life would make a great movie like Timu Gump. Like it wouldn't be produced by like a real Hollywood studio. It would be produced by like somebody with a handheld like camera. They have to like
me. And action.
Exactly. Just spend the day following Julie around as she meets not even famous people, sort of semi-famous people, and embarrassing.
Isn't Woody MAGA? No, he's not. No. You should actually go and look. He tells a really, really funny story about Donald Trump, about him being a terrible person. So go look that up. Yeah.
All right. We really have to go. I got to take my poor son is dying. I got to.
Yeah. I got to go.
Anyway, yes. I will save other Timu. If you guys keep mentioning these random people,
I have many.
I probably have a story. About that.
I'm not Gump, but I do have many, 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 many celebrity stories, having lived and worked in New York for the last 20 plus years, both as bartender and actor and all kinds of stuff. So I'll spill.
I know. Actually, this is a great idea.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. We call it Timu Gump. True Hollywood stories. Not even Hollywood. Timu Gump, like true, like
Did you
lifetime.
see Julie Roginsky? Someone put Julie Roginsky.
All
Oh,
right,
Michelle, don't forget. I promise I'll post this, and I will post the blue cheese martini recipe. If you don't like blue cheese, look away. But yeah.
All right, everybody, good to see you. I'll try to think of other Julie Gump stories and for next week, and we will see you back here on Monday at 8 a.m. Bye, everybody.
Well, bye, everyone.